When I was a child, I really have time with my parents. Actually, my parents are teachers that had been teaching since my brother was born. So, from morning till afternoon, my parents would leave me alone at our home. It makes my relationship with my parents a little bit loose. I was a child, so I still need more love from my parents. I felt lonely when my parents always leave me alone because my brother and sister also went to school. So I'm all alone at our home. But one day, my grandparents moved in and lived with us. From the time my grandparents lived with us, I never felt lonely anymore. I always spend my time with them. They always tell me some interesting story. Sometimes grandma and I will cook my favorite food together, or I will give some massage for grandpa. Sometimes my parents forgot to give me the pocket money, so my grandparents will be the one who give me money. I also often sleep with my grandparents. Then, from day by day, time to time, I felt that my grandparents are my parents, and the gap between my parents and me became wider. One day, on Friday morning, when I slept with my grandparents, I became the first one who got up. It's rare, because Grandpa always be the one who got up first every morning. I felt strange, so I tried to wake Grandpa up. I said, "Grandpa, wake up. It's morning already. Grandpa, come on, Grandpa, wake up." I shook Grandpa's body, but Grandpa wouldn't wake up, so I decided to wake Grandma instead. After Grandma woke up, I told her that Grandpa didn't want to wake up, so Grandma woke Grandpa up. But still, Grandpa wouldn't wake up. Then Grandma told me to call my parents. When my parents and I come to Grandpa's room, Grandma told us that Grandpa has passed out. We were shocked. My mind is blank. I walked through Grandpa's body and touched it. I felt Grandpa's body is so cold. There is no warmth. Actually, I didn't really understand what the meaning of the word pass out. But I know that Grandpa will never wake up anymore, forever. It was a big hit for me. When everybody sent Grandpas to the grave, I decided to stay at home. I didn't want to saw how they put Grandpa's body into the grave. At home, I cried a lot. I kept crying, crying, and kept crying. I called out for my grandpa, but Grandpa never came back. Since that day, I stopped to sleep at Grandpa's room. 1 week later, at the same day, it was Friday afternoon, my mother told me to wake Grandma up from her nap. I came to Grandpa's room and called out for Grandma, but Grandma didn't answer, so I decided to come into the room. I saw Grandma still asleep, so I got onto the bed and tried to wake her up. But as deja vu, Grandma wouldn't wake up. I was afraid. Then I called out for my mother. I screamed out, "Mom! Mom! Mom! Come here, please! Mom! Quick! Mom!" Then my mother came as quick as she can. My mother shocked when she saw me cry beside Grandma's body. Then she realized that Grandma has followed Grandpa to heaven. As in Grandpa's funeral, I also decided to didn't go to Grandma's funeral. It's just really a big shock for me. Just in 2 weeks, I lost my parents' figure. But this time, I didn't cry as I did at Grandpa's. I just stay still, just like a statue. Keep quiet. My parents decided to put Grandma's grave beside Grandpa's because they know that Grandma and Grandpa couldn't be separated forever. From then on, my parents never left me alone anymore. They became more protective and they started to spoil me because they didn't want me to feel lonely anymore. They didn't want me to experience it the same thing. And now I never felt lonely anymore because my father, my mother, my brother, and my sister I was there for me. And